What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. This is Eric here. Big E, otherwise known Easy E, Mr. E, all those E's and more. In my last video, one of my last videos where I went over PS5 versus a $500 PC, can you build an equivalent PC for the same price as the PS5, which I'll link here and or here. Short answer is no, you can't. But on that video, somebody commented and they said they want to see what's the best PC I can actually build for $500. Well, I built it, kind of. I picked the parts out for it. Counts for something, right? Anyway, roll the intro. So, before I get into the parts list, I want to go over how I found these parts. PC Part Picker is a site I use first and foremost for building any kind of PC, just to kind of even get a base point, to see where I'm looking at price wise. And if I think I can find that component somewhere cheaper, I will look on Google. Some of these parts I did just Google in, best blank component for blank price, which is obviously something you guys can do. There are thousands of websites that review and go into depth on what you can find within your budget. So this is what I think is the best and what I would personally build if I only had $500 and I needed a PC. So let's get right into it. We're going to start with the CPU, naturally. CPU I chose to go with is the AMD Ryzen 3 3300X, 2.8 gigahertz quad core. So we have 4 cores, 8 threads. You can boost this up to about 4.3 gigahertz. Probably something that not a lot of people are going to do, because if you're in this budget range, you're not going to have that kind of expertise and the knowledge on how to do that. But it's easy to learn. A couple YouTube videos and you can figure it out, just to get a little bit more performance out of this CPU. Some of the ones I was looking at originally were the 3600, the Ryzen 5 3600, and the 2600X, which were the 2600X was coming in about 188 and 3600 was 200. So when I priced these out earlier, it put our budget over $500, and I'm trying to really stick to 500 and under. So we're going with this at 130. So we have our little calculator, put that in, perfect. The motherboard we're going to put this in is the MSI B450M Pro M2 Max motherboard. It's a good motherboard. I mean, it's pretty basic, right? We're not looking for anything super fancy. It's got two RAM slots, which is going to be what we need. DDR4 capabilities. It is Ryzen 3000 series ready, so we don't have to worry about a BIOS update or anything like that, which is really nice. For only $75, really good deal. It's going to do exactly what we need it to, and it is micro ATX, so it's going to be a small form factor. So we'll put that in. Speaking of RAM, the RAM that we're going to use is going to be the G.Skill Ripjaw 2x4 DDR4 3200 speed. So I only went with 8 gigabytes. Originally I was going to do 16, but once again, just trying to stay within the budget. You can get away with 8 gigabytes starting out, and it's one of those things where later down the line it'll be easy enough to buy a 2x8 kit and just supplement it in. It was just about double the price, and you could find it for cheaper than that, 2x8 3200 speed. But trying to stay within our budget range, this was the better deal. A cast latency of 16, which is pretty good, especially for what we're going to be using it for. So this is our RAM. Putting this in at 45. So we're only at 250. We're halfway there. And we already got some of the bigger components done, which is pretty good. The most expensive piece, besides the CPU, is going to be the GPU. And for that, we're going with the XFX RX 550. Now, this is an older card. This is one of those parts where I had to look up, best card under $150 value, because with how crazy things are going with GPUs right now, and with Bitcoin and all kinds of craziness like that, and just availability not being there, I could not find a new card or even a new-ish card under $250, which was just putting us way over budget. And this one is used, and I think that most likely if you're going to be in this range, you're going to have to buy a used GPU or a used bundle of some other components if you want to get a new GPU. So don't be afraid of used products. I mean, just make sure they work. Have them test it out before you buy it, if that's an option to you. 2 gigabytes. Obviously, we're not going to be running anything crazy on this card, but it will run a lot of games at 1080p medium to low settings, which will be fine. I'm going to put this in. We'll just put it in at 88. I'll round up a lot. And now we need some storage. So I went with the Team Group, 512 gigabyte SSD. This is another one of those things where I didn't want to skimp on performance as much as I could. I didn't want to get in a hard drive because I want fast load time speeds. I want the operating systems to boot up really quickly. It's one of those things where as soon as you kind of have it, you don't want to lose it. I could have easily gotten a terabyte or two for $50-ish, but it would have been a hard drive. It would have been a little bit slower. So I'm sacrificing storage space for speed, which honestly, if this is just a gaming computer, you're going to have maybe 4 or 5 games you're going to play a lot installed, and you can always uninstall and install different ones as you play them. And you can always add more SSDs later on down the road when you get the budget for that. It's easy enough to hook up another 1 terabyte SSD and use that for all your gaming storage. So this is what we're going with, $45. We're at $383, so we have $117 left, and I think we only have 2 pieces left. Yeah. So power supply unit is the next important part. We went with the EVGA 450 watt, 80 plus bronze non-modular power supply unit. Don't skimp on these. It's really important not to, because you don't want something that's going to explode, first of all, right? It's going to catch fire and blow up on you. It'd be terrible. But you want something that's going to be able to withstand the power that you're drawing from it. And I think 450 watts is going to be more than enough. What I like about the PC part picker is it gives you an estimated wattage based on the components you're picking. And I think for this one, it was like 350 and 100, a 100 watt difference is a pretty good gap for any kind of, just kind of a little buffer. So non-modular, which is fine. We're going to tuck it away in our case and not even think about it. 450 watts should be more than enough. 80 plus bronze is the lowest quality you should be getting, period. No matter what kind of build, you should be getting at least 80 plus bronze and nothing lower than that. And only $42, it's a really good deal. Okay, so that's $425. We're going to do our case next. For our case, for our last component, based on our budget that we've spent already, we have about $75 left. Now, this, of course, is one of those things where you can allocate some of this money towards other things if that's what you prefer. If you want to find that 1 terabyte SSD or the 750, or a better power supply, or maybe you spend a little bit more on your GPU, that's completely up to you. And that's kind of the awesome thing about building computers is there's no right or wrong answer. It's what do you want, right? You're going to be the one using it. Nobody else is going to use it unless you let them. And so go with what you want. Personally, when I think about PCs, one of the things I like the most is the case. It's what you see first. It's, if you have any RGB, that's going to flash in the case. So I like to budget a little bit more towards fancy cases. Absolutely no performance. It's just one of those things where it looks cool. You walk in, it catches your eye. When you put the pictures on Instagram and things like that, nobody's really going to know what you have inside. They're just going to be like, oh, that case is sick. So I'm using the rest of our budget on the case. And I'm going with the Lee Micro ATX mid-tower chassis with the tempered glass side panel. It does come with 220 millimeter fans pre-installed, which is nice. You can always add more. I have this exact case in white, and I got it for the side glass panel. I think those are really cool. Put some RGB in there, and it's really nice. It's plenty spacious, especially for a Micro ATX board. You're going to have so much room in there. A USB header. I mean, this case, for the price, I think is really good. And like I said, once you add some RGB fans or some RGB lighting inside of it, it's really going to kind of up that cool factor. So coming in at $73. Oh no, I lost it. Oh no, I lost it.
Bruh.
Hold, please. All right, we're back. Coming in at $73, this brings our total to $498. We're $2 under budget. Take that $2 and go buy, I don't know, what can you buy with $2 these days? Nothing? Don't buy anything. Keep your $2, invest in it. In 10 years, it'll be worth $2.25. All right, guys. So that's what I have for you today. A really good build for less than $500. Hard to do in today's economy just because of the GPU craziness that's going on with not being able to find any, and the price is just skyrocketing because of the Bitcoin skyrocketing. So we'll kind of see. We'll keep an eye on that and see how that goes. But it's one of those things where week to week the prices can fluctuate. Um, Inventory will fluctuate, and so when you find something and you want it, I mean, there's nothing wrong with getting it when you see it. You know, there's no wrong answer when building a PC. You can get advice and give advice, and as long as you're happy with it in the end, you're gonna be the one using it. So that's what's important. So guys, if you liked the video, please hit that like. Please hit that subscribe. If you want to see more videos like this, let me know. One of the reasons I actually started this channel is I love concept building PCs. I mean, I love building PCs, but you know, it's a little bit expensive to kind of have a hobby like that. But I like having parameters. You know, are you using it for gaming? Are you using it for streaming? Are you using it for complex algorithms? You know, machine learning stuff like that. You're gonna need different computers. You have a $800 budget, a 1200, a 2000, a 5000, a $500 budget. You know, there's so many variables, and it's just a lot of fun to kind of concept build. So if you guys like that, let me know. I'd love to do more of them, and I'll see you in the next one. But wait, hold on. Hit that like, hit the subscribe. You have a good day. See you next time.